Dear students, hope you are all well. So, today we will begin with a chapter in history. Before proceeding with our next history chapter, let us see what we have learned in the previous lesson. Okay? In the previous lesson, we learned that Shivaji Maharaj had to fight many enemies at the same time, and he had successfully fought with the Adil Shahi. But for the expansion of Swaraj, conflict with the Mughals was inevitable, and the Mughals posed great threat to Swaraj even as it began to expand. So we already learned that so many enemies, the British, the Portuguese, the Siddhis, through Adil Shah, and also the Mughals, so many enemies, the Maratha king, that is, Shivaji Maharaj, had to fight. But the Mughals posed great threat. That the great threat was posed by the Mughals to Swaraj. Even as Swaraj was in the process of expansion, even as it began to expand, so all these threats, the conflict with the Mughals, whatever it was. Now we are going to learn in our next chapter, that is conflict with the Mughals. So, the first thing we are going to learn in this lesson is Shaista Khan's invasion. Now, Shaista Khan was one of the Sardar of the Mughals. What did he do? Shaista Khan was a maternal uncle of Aurangzeb, that means Mama. So Aurangzeb had given him certain responsibility to follow, that means to complete it. Okay, so accordingly, in the year 1660, Shaista Khan left from Ahmednagar and entered the Pune province. But as he entered the Pune province, he ravaged the territories of Swaraj by sending his enemies. Ravaged means he started destroying. He started looting. So many temples were destroyed. Common people were looted and many things were done on the people over there. So all these things, it started like getting frustrating. Frustration was caused among the local people. He encamped at the fort of Chakan, and at that time Firoji Narsala, who was the Kiledar of the Chakan fort, offered a strong resistance to Shaiste Khan's army. Okay, so lot of strong resistance was given, or you can say a defensive role was played by whom? Firoji Narsala against the army of Shaiste Khan. But finally, the army being greater or bigger than compared to what Firoji Narsala had, the Mughals captured the fort of Chakan. Right? Let's move forward. So now you can see on the screen, that is the picture of the Chakan fort near Pune. Let's move forward. Now, what this Shastakan invasion he brought into, okay? He laid it, and what was the result? What it resulted into? We will see that. Shastakan, after ravaging all the territories of Swaraj, he made Lal Mahal in Pune as his center. Okay, he set up his camp at Lal Mahal in Pune, where Shivaji Maharaj had lived in his childhood. So he took over this place of Lal Mahal and he set up his camp. Who? Shaista Khan. Now Khan sent his forces in regions around Pune, and these forces looted the people. For 2 years this continued. People were frustrated because of this. It had an adverse effect on the minds of the people's morale. Okay, so nobody knew what to do, whom to ask help. The people didn't know. So in these circumstances, while people were undergoing this, what did Shivaji Maharaj do? Maharaj came up with a bold plan. Yes, with a bold plan. He came up with a plan which would totally take Mughals to a surprise. What did Shivaji Maharaj? We all know what he was. He was a great warrior. He was a great king. But also he had lots of wits with him, where he could outdo the enemies as well. Okay, so then Shaiste Khan didn't know like with what plan he would come up with. Okay, let's move forward. So, what was the bold plan Shivaji Maharaj came up with? Shivaji Maharaj decided to raid the Lal Mahal secretly under his own leadership. That is, on 5th April 1663, Maharaj raided Lal Mahal at night with a selected band of soldiers, with selected people. In this raid, Shaiste Khan lost his fingers and suffered great humiliation. He left Pune and camped at Aurangabad, and Aurangzeb transferred him to the province of Bengal. So now in this Lal Mahal was heavily guarded by the Mughals army. In spite of that, he was not demotivated as what is to be done. So what did Shivaji Maharaj do? The actual plan was that he had planned a procession, a marriage procession. So they had planned accordingly and they entered the Lal Mahal because they would not thought that as they could be somebody from the army. They didn't think that there will be somebody from Shivaji Maharaj's army. So they were allowed to enter and they took advantage of the situation and entered the Lal Mahal in the night. That was on 5th April with a selected band of soldiers. And in this process, the Mughals were fighting with the Marathas. The Marathas were trying to take control over the Lal Mahal. In this raid, Shaiste Khan lost his fingers while he was trying to escape. Then he suffered a great humiliation, and after suffering with humiliation, what happened? He left to Pune and camped at Aurangabad, and later on, Aurangzeb. He was dissatisfied by the failure of Shaiste Khan and he transferred him to Bengal. Okay, so whereby this was the conflict whereby Shivaji Maharaj once again defeated the Mughals. Fine. Now, what is the next? What we are going to learn is we will first see, this is the Lal Mahal, which is in Pune. Then this is the conflict among the Mughals and the Marathas in Lal Mahal. And this is the picture you can see. Shivaji Maharaj cutting those three fingers, chopping off those three fingers of Shaiste Khan. So this is one of the historic moment, or you can say most memorable historic moment in the history of Marathas, especially that of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Let's move forward. Now next is the Surat campaign. Okay, this was also an interesting episode in the history of Marathas. Why? See, at that time Surat is in Gujarat. Okay, so Surat was considered a place which earned a lot of revenue for the Mughals. For the Mughals, they were earning a lot of money. So, what is this Surat campaign? Yes, who all were the people in the Surat campaign? We will learn about it. In 3 years' time, Shaiste Khan had ravaged the territories of Swaraj when he entered the Pune province. He had destroyed the territories of Swaraj. So, it was necessary to make good this loss. Okay, in this period of 3 years, when Shaiste Khan had camped himself in the Swaraj territories, he had ravaged the territories of Swaraj, right? And whatever losses the Marathas encouraged, it was necessary for them to make good of this loss. So, Shivaji Maharaj came up with a plan to teach the Mughals a lesson. Like how Mughals looted the people in the territory of Swaraj, Shivaji Maharaj made up a plan to loot the territories of Mughals. Now he had a plan to loot the territories of Mughals. With that plan, when what he decided was it was the city of Surat and it was a big trade center, right? And a port under the Mughals. So they used to get a lot of money, Mughals. So he decided to loot Surat. Yes, so in the coastal areas of Gujarat, it was a big trade center. Foreigners would come for trade purposes at Surat and lot of money, maximum revenue was being generated by this city for the emperor. So the Mughal emperor, lot of revenue, a lot of money, a lot of income was generated from the city of Surat. Now how this revenue was generated? Because of whom? The British, the Dutch, and French had their factories in this city. So, since they had factories in this city, they had to pay revenue to the Mughals. So, because of that, this revenue was being transferred to the Mughal emperor. So, Shivaji Maharaj marched on Surat. When he marched on Surat, he raided Surat and Inayat could put up any resistance. Inayat Khan was one of the Sardar of the Mughals. He could not put up any resistance against the sudden attack, against a sudden raid. So Inayat Khan, suddenly it happened. So he did not know what to do. And as a result, Shivaji Maharaj obtained a huge wealth from Surat without bothering the common people. His aim was not to bother the common people. Now, what do you mean by this? Shivaji Maharaj, he did loot the city of Surat, but only the wealthy ones who had lots of money, not the common people, without bothering the common people. He did not harass or he did not loot the local people. Now, this successful campaign was a stunning blow to the emperor's prestige. And it is like your own enemies coming right into your territory, looting your territory, and taking the wealth and going back to his own territory. That means his own enemies, the Mughals' own enemies, came into his own territories, took the money, and he could not do anything. So that was a blow, you can say, or you can say it damaged the prestige, the pride which the Mughals had. It damaged that pride of the Mughal emperor. It was a successful campaign for the Marathas and Shivaji Maharaj. Next is Jai Singh's invasion. Okay, this is also an important episode in the history of Marathas. Jai Singh's invasion. Now, who was this Jai Singh? How did he come in contact with the Marathas? Let's see what it is. Okay. With a view to curbing the increasing activities of Shivaji Maharaj, Aurangzeb sent Mirza Raja Jai Singh, an experienced and powerful Rajput Sardar. Okay, now what raid had Lal Mahal? Now, that raid at Lal Mahal, then the Surat campaign, all other things with this increasing activities of Shivaji Maharaj. What all thing he won? He won the Lal Mahal, then he won the Surat campaign. So what did they decide? That they want to stop this Shivaji Maharaj's activity. So Aurangzeb became quite restless. He did not know what to do. So he wanted to stop. Curb means to stop, to put a pause to the activities of Shivaji Maharaj. So what did he do? He sent Mirza Raja Jai Singh. He was an experienced Rajput Sardar in the court of Aurangzeb. He sent him to pause the activities of Shivaji Maharaj. Jai Singh, after coming to Pune, started rallying all the forces against Shivaji Maharaj. So he started using all the forces against Shivaji Maharaj. That is the Portuguese of Goa, the Dutch of Vengrula, the British of Surat, and the Siddhis of Janjira. Jai Singh suggested that they should start a naval campaign against Maharaj. So what did Jai Singh do? Jai Singh brought all the enemies of Shivaji Maharaj to his side. That means all enemies of Shivaji Maharaj he brought to his side of the Mughals to go against Shivaji Maharaj. And they suggested that if they want to go against Shivaji Maharaj, they should start a naval campaign. That means a naval campaign against Shivaji Maharaj. He brought all the enemies of Shivaji Maharaj against him. Now let's move forward. Now, according to this plan, Jai Singh captured forts which were in the possession of Maharaj. He captured forts which were in Shivaji Maharaj's place, territory. Okay. Now see, Jai Singh received help, right? He had a huge Mughal army as well. He received help from the British, Dutch as well as the Siddhis. So this strengthened their power. This strengthened the Mughals' power. So it was very easy for him to conquer the forts which was under the possession of Shivaji Maharaj. Mughals ravaged the territories of Swaraj. Maharaj endeavored to resist the Mughals. Endeavored means he worked hard to resist the Mughals, to fight against the Mughals. Although he was alone, he worked hard. However, when a siege was laid to the fort of Purandar by Jai Singh and Dilher Khan, Shivaji Maharaj had to come up with a certain treaty. Treaty means an agreement was signed. And in this process, when the siege was laid down to the fort of Purandar, Murarbaji Deshpande fought with great valor and died a hero's death. So many people were there at the site of Shivaji Maharaj, or who would be ready to sacrifice themselves for the expansion and safety of Swaraj. So there were many people who were ready to fight, who were ready to give their life, and one of them was Murarbaji Deshpande. So Murarbaji Deshpande was such person who fought with great valor, that is bravery, and died a hero's death. So this was in the process when the siege was laid to the fort of Purandar, and this siege was laid by Jai Singh and Dilher Khan. Now what happened next after this? Considering the seriousness of the situation, Shivaji Maharaj began talks with Jai Singh. He started talking with Jai Singh and later signed a treaty in 1665. He signed an agreement. It is known as the Treaty of Purandar. So, see, it was not wise enough to fight against so many enemies, right? Shivaji Maharaj could not fight because Jai Singh brought Shivaji Maharaj's enemy also, and he had his own Mughal past, right? So considering this situation, Shivaji Maharaj had gone against the Mughals. What would happen if he would go against the Mughals? What would happen? He would incur a lot of loss to Swaraj, loss to his Maratha soldiers. He would lose his soldiers, warriors, as well as many territories he would lose. So Shivaji Maharaj began talk with Jai Singh. And after this talk resulted in the signing of treaty in 1665. Now, what was according to this treaty of Purandar? According to this treaty, Maharaj gave 23 of his forts and the adjoining territories, yielding an annual income of 4 lakh horns. So, Mughals were assured, and also Mughals were assured help against the Adil Shahi, and the treaty was ratified by Aurangzeb. So what did Shivaji Maharaj do? He gave 23 of his forts and the adjoining territories. That means the adjoining area also. And the Mughals also assured help against. That any help they need, the Marathas would help them. So this treaty was signed between the Mughals and the Marathas. Then the Treaty of Purandar was ratified by Aurangzeb. Ratified means it was given consent by Aurangzeb. So this Treaty of Purandar, it was a wise decision by Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj, though he gave 23 of his forts to the Mughals, there was a plan behind it. Although he gave his forts, but there was a plan behind it because he had already planned to get back the forts which he had given to the Mughals and defeat the Mughals as well. So this Treaty of Purandar, the Shaistakan invasion, later on what did it lead to and how did Shivaji Maharaj made wise decisions, or you can say made fool of the Mughals? We will learn about it in our next class. Let's move forward. That's your homework. The first one is the Treaty of Purandar was signed in Dash. Next is Shastikan set up his camp at Dash in Pune. Next, which foreign powers had their factories in Surat? And the last question is, where did Aurangzeb transfer Shastikan after the Lal Mahal episode? That's all for now. We will learn the next part of the lesson in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.